What's up, guys? It is Antoine Zone. We're actually doing an album review of the new Gorillaz album, The Frickin' Mountain, today. Their 8th, we're not counting the fall, their 8th studio album. Yeah, and a lot of you guys might be like, oh, Anthony, you're dropping this the day after, which I am recording this on Friday, the day the album comes out. You guys might be like, Anthony, you shouldn't drop an album review, the day that it comes out. You should probably let it marinate in your skull first before you throw your opinions out on the internet, which I completely agree with that statement, but like, we did a video out Saturday, really want to do this video, so I'm just going to do it, alright? Now, before we actually start talking about, the album itself, I want to, go over, like, my expectations, the lead-up, singles, all that stuff. Firstly, everyone knows I love Gorillaz. They are one of my favorite bands of all time. Their first 3 albums are fantastic. Plastic Beach is so good. I have it on my wall and in vinyl. I love that record to death. I think that the second half of their career definitely wasn't as strong, but, they're still great albums, right? Humans, I think, is overhated. The Now Now's great, has some bangers. Trans, Humility, and Sokai on that album, great songs. Song Machine was definitely a little bit hit or miss, but the hits really frickin' hit on that record. And then comes Cracker Island, which is their newest album, not considering this one, and contrary to popular belief, I think this album is ass. I think it genuinely kind of sucks. The synths on that album were really shitty. They sounded terrible, in my opinion. I just really did not like a lot of the songs. I still think that the title track and Skinny Ape are pretty good songs. The title track is awesome. But, yeah, I really just did not like that record. And, prior to, like, all the announcements and stuff, I wasn't really seeing a high future of Gorillaz if they were just going to keep producing the synthy slop. I really was not really excited for the next album at that point. But, they did announce, I think, like, early 2025 that they're expecting a new album release, Q4 2025, which is, like, October, November, December, which, didn't happen. It got pushed back a little bit. And then it got pushed forward, because this was originally supposed to come out on March 20th, if you guys were not aware, but it is February 27th, right? So, they did drop quite a... Well, actually, they announced that it would be, Indian and Arabian themed, which I was, somewhat conflicted on. It's definitely going to be new for Gorillaz, because they haven't really explored many cultures like this, but I was excited to see where it went, and I think it was a great decision. I think it's a really great decision that decided to go this route with their album, reinventing themselves even more, because, a lot of the themes on this album are really great. Getting into the singles, I thought a majority of them were great. I honestly, at first, I didn't really care for the God of Lying or Damascus. At first, I was loving Happy Dictator and Orange County, though. Which we will get into, because we're doing track by track, list, review, whatever, of all the tracks on this album. So, without further ado, let's get into that jazz. Alright, starting off with the first track, the title track, The Mountain. I think this track works really well within the context of the album, but I don't really see myself going to listen to this or revisiting this much outside of, re-listening to the album itself. It's kind of long-winded. It doesn't really have, many lyrics or vocal harmonies or whatever. But they do throw in some snippets of, the Demon Days song, Fire Coming Out of a Monkey's Head, literally talking about a mountain. If you haven't heard that song, I highly recommend it. I think it's one of the better ones off of Demon Days. Low-key, alright? And I thought that was an absolutely amazing reference. And it's not even like trying to capitalize on the success of that album. It genuinely makes sense for them to mention that in this album, because it thematically makes sense within, the song itself and the story it portrays. And, like, they're literally talking about a mountain. The album's name is The Mountain, right? So I'm very happy they did that. I thought that was probably my favorite part of the album, except for that part in the manifesto. We'll get to that. But directly following this up, the frickin' Moon Cave. This was probably the song I was most excited for off the entire album, just because Bobby Womack was, featured in the song, which, rest in peace. These are posthumous recordings, I believe. But, he did absolutely fantastic on Stylo and Cloud of Unknowing back in Plastic Beach. So I was hyped for this song. I don't even remember hearing him, I'm going to be honest, but this song was still absolutely fantastic regardless. Much like the rest of this album, this song is really groovy, really get up, jump around. It just sounds beautiful, fantabulous, and the lyrical themes are just as great. Probably my favorite on the entire album. And I have not listened to or watched that music video with the mountain, the moon cave, and the sad god on the Gorillaz YouTube channel. I've not looked at that yet, but I can't wait to. I will do that as soon as I'm done recording. But yeah, the song's great. Next up is The Happy Dictator, probably my second favorite song off this album. This was the first single, and amazing. I first listened to it, absolutely hyped for the album. This was the song that got me hyped for this frickin' album, alright? I really don't have much to say about it other than it's awesome. But then we get into The Hardest Thing in Orange County, which The Hardest Thing is basically like, the interlude before Orange County. And honestly, I love interludes in albums. I love skits, I love interludes. But I think this one was completely unnecessary. I think that Orange County just could have stood on its own, because the only thing The Hardest Thing really does is introducing the line, it's the hardest thing to say goodbye to someone you love. That was, like, the purpose of the interlude. But, like, the actual song Orange County just does that way better when it, Damon originally says that in that song. So it kind of just rendered that, like, if it transitioned into it and then really got into, like, the groove of Orange County, then I would understand, but, like, it has absolutely no place in the track list. I don't really feel comfortable saying it's my least favorite song because it's, like, 2 minutes long, but, I mean, if I could remove a song from the album, it would be that. So, yeah. But other than that, Orange County is a fucking banger, probably my third favorite off the album. Oh my god, I don't remember who else is singing on the album. They do a fantastic job. That little whistle thing, oh my god, the song's great. Amazing, stupendous, might have some simple lyrical themes. Who gives a shit, because it's a banger, alright? Now comes The God of Lying, which was also a actual single leading up to the album, and on first listen, I really didn't even give it this much attention, so I don't know. But I didn't really groove with it too much. I didn't favorite it, which, I use my favorite songs as my playlist, which I favorited every song on this record except for The Hardest Thing and The Shadowy Light, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I favorited this song, obviously. It's definitely more interesting, definitely more of a second, third listen type of song, but it is awesome, and I do love this song quite a bit. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that one. The Empty Dream Machine, I think, is the second longest on the record. It was kind of boring me at first, but then it really got going, and it was just a fucking amazing time. I think the best part of this song is definitely the vocals and the atmosphere it gives off. Damon does a great job with vocals on this song. So does Black Thought. And then, like, the back and forth between the other feature that happens between the end of the song. It's just really fun to listen to. Definitely one of the better songs of this album, in my personal opinion. Up next is the 7-minute banger that is the frickin' Manifesto, right? At first listen, I was very mixed on this song, because I'm going to be real with you guys for a second. I genuinely just dislike the Spanish language within music. I'm Hispanic myself. I'm half Dominican, which, like, I hate Bad Bunny. I hate his music. I'm gonna be so honest, bro. I hate his music. I still think the Super Bowl time show is cool. I just did not like the music at all. But the exception is this fucking song. Okay. Originally, I didn't really like that song. Yo, can you stop fucking messing up every single word that comes out of your fucking mouth? Ah! God! Originally, I was not really griving.
What the fuck is a crime? Okay.
Oh my god. Originally, I was not grooving with that part of the song much, but The mountain it is high, yes, the mountain sad, so the mountain cry. Ting God the braided day, but the mountain stays on still. Don't lose yourself. Something, something, something. Oh my God! What was Damon on when he was recording this shit? Absolute banger. Best 15 seconds on the entire album, hands down. Oh my God, bro. We're gonna calm this down. All right, let's calm down this review here. But holy shit, are the instrumentals on this song are just so fun. Like the musical embodiment of the word fun, okay? Jump up, dance, hit a jig. That's all you could really do when the song comes on. And my only gripe with it is the transition into the second half felt so stupid, felt rushed. As a guy who listens to Swans religiously, I've really gotten a feel for good transitions in music. This was not it. Please don't do a 10-second transition into, like, completely changing the instrumental style. Don't do it. It sounds horrendous. Damon could have easily took another minute or two just to build into the second half, which would have been so much better considering this already is a long-ass song. What's an extra minute or two, right? So, that's probably my only favorite, my only least favorite bad part about this song, but the second half is still a banger. Who was that rapping again? I don't know. Proof, I think. Yeah, they did a great job on that part. I think Damon's vocals at the end were a little bit clunky, but that's okay. What we got next, gang? This got so informal so quick. Then comes the Plastic Guru, which I was really thinking this is just a filler song. But then, it hit that part midway through, and it was like, yummy. Like, it was good. And then, this album definitely has a lot of correlations with, Plastic Beach, Plastic Guru being one of them, Bobby Womack. And in Damascus, we have Mos Def, once again, who was on Sweepstakes and Stylo back in Plastic Beach. And actually, Damascus is literally a unfinished cut off of Plastic Beach. Pretty cool, right? That they just, finished and threw on this record. I'm happy it wasn't on Plastic Beach because, I'm assuming that it was aesthetically different. And, they changed it, making it for this album, to fit in with the, themes of the record. But I really cannot imagine it on Plastic Beach at all. I think it was supposed to be called Fresh Arrivals, I think. But yeah, I really cannot see it on the other track list. But I can see it on this damn track list, gosh darn it. Yeah, I like I said, I originally was not really vibing with the song. But I am now, alright? Awesome sauce. It came out 3 days after my birthday, actually. December 12th. Well, my birthday's December 9th. Whatever. Oh, yes. Damascus is great. What we got now, Shadowy Light. I really don't want to upset anyone's culture when I say this, but those vocals at the beginning and end of the song, I can't bear. I cannot bear them. I think, because I remember I was looking at the Gorillaz wiki page and there was like 6 languages. I think it was the other one I didn't recognize because I don't really recognize this language much. I don't know what it is. But I don't really vibe with it. I'm gonna be honest. The rest of the song was actually kind of boring too. Like just repeating the Shadowy Light over and over. The instrumentals were nothing special. They were just really basic and bland. Easily my least favorite actual song on this record. I really just did not, find it as interesting as the rest. Probably like a 6 out of 10 though. So it's not that bad. All right. Now realizing I forgot to talk about Delirium, which honestly I have like really mixed feelings on the song. It's kind of weird. The chorus instrumentals are fun, I guess. Damon's intro is great. I don't know. I like the song, but I don't really have any interesting points to bring up because I can't tell what I like about it and what I don't like about it. So that's Delirium, and then after that comes Casablanca, which is just it's so good. It's just so good. These are one of the songs where you just lay on the floor and you listen. Like, it's so calm, so serene, so peaceful, and it really embodies what you would feel like the mountain is, because I haven't really talked about the actual mountain itself. I'm assuming it's this album's got a lot to do with like spirituality and like meaning of life and all that kind of stuff. And I think the mountain is like a symbol for peace. Like you climb the mountain. It's tireless. I remember at some point in the record they're like, say, out of breath climbing the mountain. They're climbing this flipping mountain. It's a treacherous journey. But when you get to the top, it doesn't even matter the struggles you went through, because you went through it for the peace you have now, and it's beautiful, right? And this song is like you reach the top. You're at the top of the mountain. You're sitting, looking out. Look at this album cover. You're sitting, looking out at the beautiful skyline after just all that pain, all that sorrow you had to go through. I think that's my interpretation of the themes of this album, and that's really what elevates this song into new heights. I love it. I love it so much, and I'm probably going to listen to it 27 times. Might honestly be my most played song of the year. I could really see that happening. It's that freaking good. The Sweet Prince is honestly kind of forgettable. It is a great lead up into the end. I think there's a word for the second to last track. I think that's a term, but it's kind of forgettable, honestly. But it's good for what it is. I don't really have strong feelings about it. And The Sad God is a great finale song. It really sends off this album in a way that it deserves by actually delivering some nice commentary here. It's about a god, obviously, that cared for his people and gave them blue skies and all that stuff, and they kind of just I gave you atoms, you built a bomb. Devious lyric right there. And it has like that line about like screens, and I didn't click on, but like screens and shit. The screen that I'm sitting behind talking right now about this song, but it's a great one. And it really does encompass what this record is pretty beautifully. So let's get on to my final thoughts on this album. I know people are probably going to think this is recency bias when I say this, but I think this is the best album they've released since Plastic Beach. Like, I don't think it could really compare. I mean, I don't think Humans could compare to it. I don't think the Now Now can. I don't think Songs for the Song Machine could. And I absolutely don't think Cracker Island could come even close. This album is fantastic. It has some of my favorite Gorillaz songs ever now. The Happy Dictator, Manifesto, Orange County, The Moon Cave, and Casablanca are genuinely top 20 Gorillaz songs. Maybe top 25. Let's say that. Awesome record. Like I said, I think if I had to rank their discography, it would probably be Cracker Island, Song Machine, Humans, The Now Now, Gorilla. I don't know if it probably. Honestly, I think it's better than Self-Titled. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's better than Self-Titled, then The Mountain, then Demon Days, and Plastic Beach. I think it's better than Self-Titled. I'm gonna be honest. I think it is. Okay. I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm very shaky on that opinion. But it's genuinely amazing. I already looked on Album of the Year. It's already a freaking must listen on critics and users? Fuck yes, bro. Fuck yes, Damon. Absolutely amazing comeback. Oh my god. If you came up to me fresh off the Cracker Island listen and be like, give it 3 years, man, you're getting a banger. Getting a 8.5 out of 10 album. Yeah. 8.5 out of 10. And I'm gonna bring in my inner Fantano right now. Light 8 to me. Light to medium 8. That was my review of the new Gorillaz album. I'm probably not gonna be reviewing. Obviously, I'm not gonna be reviewing like Fantano or anything. But I think when like any of like my favorite artists drop an album that I really want to talk about, I will do another video like this. Like. I'll do this for the Swans album, Arctic Monkeys, Geese, King Gizzard, new Gorillaz album if it comes out. If they come out with another one, which honestly, like, Gorillaz has been this is the 25th anniversary. It's been going for 25 years. Quarter of its century, right? I think it's over. I'm going to be honest. I think it's over. I cannot. Damon's like mid-50s, And if we ended on this album, I would be so fine with that. This is a perfect place to lead off. This is a beautiful place to lead off for the characters, for the music, for the world. Holy shit, dude. Also, Jamie Hewlett, amazing art for this album. It's just great. Every piece of art I've seen of this album, the snippets of that music video that I've seen, which I'm going to, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to watch it, look amazing, okay? Everything about this fucking album I love, okay? I love this shit. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so, what's the opposite of disappointed? Appointed. I'm appointed, guys. I'm appointed, bro. Listen to this shit. Great ass hour, 6 minutes of your life. I've been Antoine Ezel. Thank you for watching my album review of The Mountain by Gorillaz. Have a stupendous day. And go listen to the fucking album, boy.